Welcome to this edition of Canola TV, featuring the latest information on producing and marketing winter canola in the Southern Plains. Canola TV, a service of PCOM, Producers Cooperative Oil Mill.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another edition of Canola TV, and joining us today, Heath Sanders with PCOM. Heath, I know you've had a chance to get out and look at some of our canola fields in the last few weeks. Give me kind of an overview of what you're seeing right now as we head pretty quickly into winter dormancy.
Well, Ron, I'm seeing a mixed bag of everything out there right now. We've got some big canola, we've got some smaller canola, we've got canola still coming up. Very erratic rainfall that we received. We're still seeing those same conditions. And so wherever we had just a little bit more moisture, the canola looks really good. We've been very mild this fall. And so we've had a lot of growing conditions, and we just need that moisture in order to get our canola at a little bit better, bigger size.
I guess that's what the moisture issue is. The variability, as you mentioned, is a big worry.
It's a big worry. If you could get the canola up to a good stage, up to a good size right now, really this is an okay time for it to be dry, because we need this moisture in the spring in order for reproduction. But when we have very small canola, it's extremely dry, and we get very cold, I'm a little concerned. But canola has that ability to thin itself out. The strongest will survive, and so we're just going to have to wait and see what we have. I continue to tell guys not to throw in the towel. Canola is a pretty resilient crop, and it will it will really surprise you sometimes. So we just need to keep praying for rain, and we'll see what happens.
You mentioned that it needs to be at a certain size. What's a reasonably good size that it'll be able to handle the colder weather, harden off, and be able to get through the winter?
Generally we always said we'd like to have at least 3 or 4 leaves on it. I like to see a little bit more than that, 5 or 6 leaves. But if you can get a couple leaves, 3 or 4 leaves on that little small canola plant, it will generally make it through. So like I said, we've got a mixed bag across the state of small canola mixed in with some big canola, and our conditions have just been very challenging this year.
Now, when last we talked, we were just wrapping up the planting process, and in your mind, did we end up getting most of the acres that you thought we were likely to get?
Yeah, we're still looking at trying to figure out how many acres are planted. Josh Bashong and I continue to find more fields. A farmer will call us to come look at a field, and we'll find 10 more on the way that or around the area. There's a lot of canola planted out in the state. Some looks pretty good for what it's been through, I think, but we can sure use some moisture.
Anything besides just the lack of rainfall that you're having to help producers with or concerned about as far as disease, early bugs, this type of thing?
Other than looking at stands, which that's the result of the poor planting conditions, but spraying the weeds. A lot of guys are like, well, I don't have much out there. You need to at least spray the weeds and clean up the field, or try to. And it's been very dry to get that to work. But we have looking at diamondback moth larvae. We've had those come in, and we're just constantly talking with them to make sure that they're going through the steps to take care of that crop, to give it at least a chance when it does rain.
Sounds like the bottom line you're trying to advise these guys with right now: don't throw the towel in.
That's exactly right. Give it a chance still. It's a pretty resilient crop. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I think as we look, if you can, if you got a field and it's turning blue and it's stressed right now, hang in there. If you want to. I think it's going to be okay as long as we can get some moisture here for too long. And the same way with the wheat. I think the wheat's going to be okay. There's some that looks pretty rough, but it's a winter crop. So
very good. Heath, appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Ron.
Heath Sanders with PCOM joining us. Don't throw the towel in, guys, and stay tuned. We'll be following this crop through the winter months and into the spring. I'm Ron Hayes for Canola TV.
Canola TV, a service of PCOM and produced by OklahomaFarmReport.com.